So welcome to the first day of our Mosaic implementation. The idea is still the same. We have two dream outcomes. Ethan, if you just want to share it quickly. What we're going to show you is a guide. You're going to get access to everything we have done here. You'll see there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've got to do, and you can take it away. So whatever you want to write in your notebook, you can, but just know that all of the componentry, all of the systems, all of the implementation, we're going to scribe and document the whole thing. So you don't have to do that. You can stay zoned in and focused if you want, or you can write. But we're looking for two dream outcomes from this event that we designed with your JB. And that is, everyone leaves seeing themselves as a voice of the movement, not just a participant. Right? And the second one is, we operate in fellowship, not a function. As you can see, my good friends in Lord of the Rings here, all different types of people, all different types of goals, all heading in the same direction in one movement. That's what we're aiming to do. The reason we're aiming to do it is because of this. Has anyone ever seen this before?
No.
Right, so this is, maybe we can zoom in a bit. Can you see that? So this is the normal journey of entrepreneurship, which is uninformed optimism, then informed pessimism, then the valley of despair, right? Then informed optimism, and then success. Where most entrepreneurial ventures get stuck is that they get to the valley of despair and then they just switch to the next thing, right? And so one way that people get out of the valley of despair is product market fit. That's just one way, and it works for point solutions. So if you're a point solution with a pain point and a market's mature, you can use product market fit for everyone that's in product and get out of the valley of despair. But if you're not a point solution and you're trying to do something transformative, which is creating a new market or a new category, or changing the way someone behaves and creating a new workflow, it doesn't work. And so a lot of people get down here and then they go back up and they launch another product. Then they get down here and then they go back up, and then they launch another product and then they run out of money. And so a lot of software companies get stuck down here, and it's just a simple thing of going from, hey, we need to stay alive, raise more capital, let's go again, to sticking with it. That's it. It's just sticking with it. So you go from staying alive to sticking with it, you can actually get out of the valley of despair. And so we want to do the fellowship and get everyone a voice of the movement, so we just skip it. We skip the valley of despair completely, because you can. And if you know how product adoption works, if you build a movement and you build a team that believes in that movement, you can actually get the early majority to buy faster, because they'll compete. And the early majority love to compete. The late majority just love to do what the early majority does. And so we can just skip that if we hit those two dream outcomes. We have noticed the following about Mosaic. We have yet to integrate a compelling vision, although one is coming together. It's not integrated, right? It's not driving everything that we do, and we'll get into that. In a lot of cases, we see this as a moment of probably some of our best life's work, because everyone here actually recognizes they're working with great people. That's really rare, fundamentally. But we're separating it. Life, career. Doesn't work. That's how you end up in the valley of despair. We're running on trust and goodwill, but it hasn't been institutionalized. So we trust one another, but we're not working in movement to a big direction where we need the whole market to trust us. And we just haven't institutionalized that trust and goodwill yet. We need to build leaders versus just rely on one or two people's leadership. And everyone here can be a leader if they want to. And we all need to go to market to make that vision happen. So the stage of the company you're in and the boldness of what you're trying to do, and what JB would like from a whole group of A players that he trusts, is a really simple thing. Everyone has to want to transform the market, which is generally outside of a lot of jobs in here. So if you're not sales or you're not marketing, you're probably not used to it, but we'd love for you to do it, and we think everyone needs to do it. And our biggest risk that we said last night is, based off our interviews and the work that we've already done with the team, everyone can go elsewhere, right? You're all talented. My first company, we were combat veterans. No one wanted to hire us, so we started a company. So we didn't have to do some of the work that you have to do now at the stage you're in whilst you do your go-to-market. You have to do both, which is come together at the team and come together in the movement at the same time. We could just do the movement because no one was hiring those veterans. So super lucky. But this is a risk. And so to get there, we have to move from visioning to reckoning. And so we have 4 stages that a company goes through if you just want to jump down. We call it the 4 stages of value creation. And so how do you build a company that transforms a market versus dominate it? And how do you build a company with others versus just relying on the person right at the top, which is the sort of founder's suffering dream? And there's 4 shifts. So the first one is visioning, then there's reckoning, then there's covenants, and then there's stamina and pursuit. And where we are is reckoning. And to get through reckoning, we have to pick where we're going, be committed to the vision versus seeing ourselves in it, our personal identity. So committed to the cause, let go of some of the things we are that maybe made us successful, and then step together in covenants. Now, you'll notice that reckoning is in an up cycle because it's our cure to the valley of despair. The way out of reckoning is doing the messy work, letting go of things that may have made you successful but might not make the team successful if we commit to the vision. So going from somewhere how you see yourself in your career, how do I look as I achieve these goals? What is this about my success if this company's successful to? The company's success is irrelevant. We're committed to the market changing. It's a very different frame. And then there is going to be a period of absolute radical disagreement, uncovering blind spots, and then where we end up is a space that we call shared work. And that shared work becomes a collective commitment. So at a really simple level, we completely avoid the valley of despair because we get into shared work, focus on committing to the vision. That's it. That might sound a little silly and a little crazy, but it works just because people can do exceptional things in a team, not alone, all the time, and you see it everywhere. It's much harder to do this if it's just you. And so I just want to read a quick quote before we get into our first activity for the day. If you scroll down just a little bit more. If you're interested in our stages of transformation, there are 4 that every company goes through. I just want you to think about that quote. I have led a toothless life. I've never bitten into anything. I was waiting. I was reserving myself for later on, and I've just noticed that my teeth have gone. If that sounds like you, that's okay, but it's something to really consider what might be stopping this company evolve into the boldness that it could be. And so we can say something like that, but it's fundamentally a choice. And so these are 2 paths that you can choose. We hope that everyone lands on this path. It might be in the next 48 hours. It might be in the next month. It might be whenever's the right time for you to land over here. But that's how we see your business growing and changing because of the boldness of who leads it and who started it. But you can say something like that and it's a throwaway comment. There is a choice. So if you see yourself in the vision, the conflict that you have to accept is internal. Okay. For example, I made this many sales. I think I should be this title. All of these things that are about career success become huge pressures on you. And so you choose internal conflict if you pick this one, because you've taken your identity, taken the company, and put yourself and your own success and how you feel and look into it. So whatever promises you make, whether it's to your family, to yourself, the conflict that you choose, if you choose this, is an internal one. If you choose this one, it's the external conflict, right? External. Now, the external conflict is some of the stuff we're doing is unconventional. Some of the stuff is bold. We're doing it before we have proof. We're asking people to trust us to change. That's the exceptional path. So the conflict that attracts is everyone in the market going, you're crazy. You're intense. You have no right to do this. But it's all external. Great thing about external conflict versus internal conflict, it is so much easier to deal with external conflict as a team than it is to deal with internal conflict. So I'd much rather sit down in a fellowship and be like, hey, all of these large, companies that we're contending with, they're all starting to run PR campaigns to say, we're crazy. This isn't going to work. And when you hear it for the first time, or when you do a LinkedIn post, someone's going to be like, this isn't going to work, and it's going to sting. But if we're all doing it versus just one person doing it, it is so much easier to get through it. Because you can go, hey, yeah, we're committed to this. Don't worry about this. We're taking the exceptional path, which means that everyone attacking us is just mediocre. They're just on the same path. We're taking a different one. And so that, when you read that frame, it's really, do you want to make a choice between the external conflict of committing to the vision or the internal conflict of seeing your own success in it? Personally, I would much rather be on this side. It's so much easier to get through it with people that you trust, and it makes it a team option and it makes it an opportunity versus a challenge. What you will notice here is you can't avoid the conflict. You can't avoid being disliked. You can either be disliked by yourself because you never achieve what you want to achieve and it's never enough, or whatever that goal is that you hold over yourself, or you're just misunderstood and therefore disliked by the market. That's all. But if you ever want to do something, whether it's that one or this one, being disliked is a fixed cost. So that Canadian politeness we love so much, we have to let go as we step into wanting to change the world of transport and logistics from Canada. And maybe you're one of the only groups of people that can change it, because you might find that your strength is empathy. Anyway, any questions on the dream outcome, what we're trying to achieve? No? It's your choice. No wrong choice, just yours. But it is one that both will have conflict. We always prefer the we over the I. Most business thrives on the I. But that's why when you meet most people, they hate talking about work. Whereas me, I love talking about work because it's not work. Okay, so what we're going to start is we're going to start practicing being committed to the vision and also practice coming together as a fellowship. And the first thing we're going to run is what we call a war game ritual. So I don't know if you just want to jump to the war game tab quickly, Ethan, thank you very much. And so I think if you go down to see the war game ritual, so just the tab itself, just click on war game ritual, thank you. So just really quickly, one of the things we hated when we built a company, and I think a lot of people do too, is right now is there only 2 salespeople? It's just Amanda and Kyle, right? Yeah. So when you're starting a business and you're probably less than 10 million in revenue, there's a lot of pressure on the salespeople, right? Because they're like, not everything's perfect. We don't really know what we're building yet, although we have great product and engineering talent. We're sort of trying to figure it out. But there's huge numbers on them. So like the numbers and quota still exist on the sales and marketing people. They don't go away. It's part of their incentive structure. I get it. But it doesn't mean we can't help them win. The whole business changes once you get past 10 million in revenue. The business has changed. The problems change. So like, if we want to build the best things, we got to get past it. And so what we did is, when we were in the military, the way that we used to solve problems comes from Chinese parliament, which is like anyone can argue how to make the solution better, regardless of your status. Okay, so everyone thinks the military is like orders. It is not that. It is, we want to make sure everyone comes back home for their family. So anyone got any better ideas of what we're going to do before we do this? And we used to do that. And so when we did sales, we did the same thing. So we had no customer pipeline meetings. What we used to do was one of the account executives would be like, hey, I've got a deal, unsure what to do next, or I know what to do, but I want to test it to see if there's any better ideas. And we called it a war game. So the way a war game works is someone in your team, whether it's leadership, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, there is a business opportunity. Business opportunity could be a partnership deal, could be a direct sales deal. It doesn't matter. And they get the company together and, you know, for 2 hours or an hour, we sit down and we go, here's the situation. Ask me any clarifying questions. Then we're going to break out into groups of 2 or 3. And we're going to come back and give you possible solutions you haven't considered. Did you notice I didn't mention critique? I hate critique. I hate feedback. I like new ideas, solutions, and insights. And so then last but not least, we end up with a reflection from the person that called the war game. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do one today and we're going to do one tomorrow. And why we want to do it is so that we move from I to we when it comes to sales. Because everyone's livelihood changes here the quicker you get past 10 million. So it's not just on Carl and Amanda and JB and Rob. Everyone can help with this. Some of the best deals we did came from product, UX, engineering, operations. They're like, hey, operations, like, you haven't considered this subject matter expertise. Like, you've really got to, you're thinking they're going to hear it that way and they're saying it to you that way, but actually what they're saying is this. And I know that from my experience, right? Or we could build an artifact of the future that shows them what it could look like before you present, like, just demonstrate it. We could actually just show you exactly what it could look like. Why don't we do that? We won, I think, like $20 or $30 million from the outside insights of people that weren't in the sales team, that we picked a completely different direction. The other thing it does too is it gives people skills as they become leaders to be and feel more commercial if they aren't in sales, right? So it's a long-term investment for those leaders. That's our war game. So we're going to start. We got a deal from JB that he's working on, but we're going to follow these steps. So JB's going to frame the challenge. So this is the situation. This is my challenge I need help with. I need this unleashed. I'm stuck here. I'm interested in what you would do differently. We then have a 5 to 10 minute sort of, like if you want to scroll down, a 5 to 10 minute time where you can just ask questions. The questions aren't to infer solution. It's just to clarify more of the scenario. Then we'll do the breakout. Then we'll come back and we'll present the person in the seat potential solutions. Any questions before we get started? Rules are like no critique, just solution. 2, be as creative as you want. Like, if there's something that you see that you have a gut instinct about that's not in a playbook that you've seen before, don't be afraid of suggesting it. Last rule, honesty. Just don't hold back. You design these things, they slow when you first start doing them, and then they get really fast as people start to work together. Cool. We're ready to go. All right. Have we shared the war game brief, right? Okay. Did everyone get that in the Slack?
I saw that you sent it, but I don't think any of us were.
Oh yeah, we were on the.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. Where we'll start, like, when you break out into groups, make sure you have a quick read of that, because it has the whole situation in it. But let's just go. We're going to practice straight from the start. So, JB, what I'd love for you to do is I'd love for you to tell everyone about what the situation is. 3 sentences.
3 sentences.
Like, very short. Like, this is the situation. This is the opportunity.
Okay.
Here is what I need from the group.
Okay.
Try to keep it under 3 minutes.
Okay.